Welcome to the Journeyman Cave, a podcast where we meet and chat with some of boxing's most seasoned road warriors, hosted by Marc Shakespeare and Chris Scarfe.
Welcome back to the Journeyman Cave, everybody. We're back with Series 5. And with me, as always, my very good friend, Mr. Marc Shakespeare. How are we doing?
Yep. Series 5, mate, eh? It's come round quick, hasn't it?
It's flying by. We've only been at it just over a year. I mean, we can't ask for much better to kick off Series 5. Who have we got?
Oh, I've got Arv Mittoo, mate.
We've been after him for a while.
Yeah, and where do we go to see him? Birmingham again. Yeah.
A second home.
It is, mate, yeah. But, you know, it's one of the most nicest people I meet is Arv, and he's the kind of person who just lights up any room. And, you know, it reminded me of Eddie Murphy, you know, Axel Foley with his laugh. It made me so happy, you know, hearing him. You're a great guy.
It's infectious, isn't it?
Yeah, and to say he'd bang on 100 fights, and I thought it was quite interesting when he said that when he had them 100 and he finished, he never missed it.
No, he didn't. Yeah.
As if like it was fate for him to do 100 and that were it. So, yeah, as always, brilliant to meet him. What a guy, and I think the fans are going to enjoy this one.
Yeah, I think so as well. It did want us to put, just to mention a couple of people that didn't get brought up in the interview, so we'll do that now. He wanted to thank Ashley Martin. I think if you go on YouTube and find any videos with Arv of his fights, I think Ashley's the one who sorted that and put them up. I mean, Arv will correct us if we're wrong, but so he wanted to give a shout out to Ashley, and the other person he wanted to say thank you to Melanie Lloyd. Apparently, she gave him a load of books. She's an author and like about fighting and, you know, boxing and what have you. So we wanted to give a shout out to Melanie as well, and we want to give a shout out. Arv he's got a cat called Tiger, and Tiger made her presence known during the interview, and she got a bell around her neck on a collar. So if you hear any jingling, it's not Santa come early, it's Tiger making her presence known. So, I mean, but there's always something happens, isn't there, as we've always said.
There's always some bloopers on our trips, mate, isn't there?
It's all good fun. So before we crack on, don't forget you can support the show. Give us a like, give us a share. If you're feeling flush, buy us a coffee or a pint, or even get yourself a T-shirt from our friends at Blackford's Barnsley. And after said all that, let's go and speak to Arv.
Let's do it.
Listen, guys, I've been up your way for ages. Well, I loved it, and I loved all the nice...
We'll have to come up then, mate.
There was a lot of nice ladies back in the day, you know, up there, and they were all nice to me, you know, and no one treated me bad, and people said, yeah, you can stay up here with us if you want. And Nottingham, that area, everyone seems nice, don't they? Everyone... The further you go north, it's nicer. No, it's true, though.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Do you believe that, then, Arv? Do you think we are nice people up north?
Absolutely. Well, no, it's a fact. It's a fact.
I believe it as well, mate. We've got a nice extra in today, haven't we?
Everybody knows that. You know that. Everybody knows that Nottingham and up your way and that way, it's nice. Everyone knows. We've all experienced going up there and being treated nice. It's such a nice area, you know. I wish everywhere could be like that, but it's not, is it? You can speak
Unfortunately not.
You can speak to anybody up there and they'll speak with you. They don't think, what's he after or nothing like that. They'll speak with you and it's nice.
What you do up there then? You worked there for a while then?
I worked up that way for a while, yeah, in the 80s, you know. I worked for a company up here. It was called Alpine Soft Drinks, and it was based in Chelmsley Wood, which it was part of Birmingham.
Right.
It's not a part of Birmingham anymore. It comes under Solihull now. Solihull.
Oh, right.
And what it was, I used to work there, and they used to provide a pop. But what happened was it just turned over. It went over to it was a franchise then. So like a lot of people up that way, they had their own businesses, but they needed customers. So they used to send me to knock the doors to get the customers. And I met so many nice people up there. It was unbelievable. It was really nice, you know what I mean? I had like a fantastic time up there. Best times of my life. I was only like sort of 17, 18 at the time. But oh my word, it was so nice. You know, I loved working up there. So that's why I know a lot about the Barnsley area, Barnsley, Cernska, Rotherham, Swinton, all up that way. And absolutely fantastic. Yeah, like I say, best time of my life, you know. I don't do much now. All I do is I'm just sat here, really, you know what I mean? Just resting all the time. I mean, come here Friday, you'll always catch me in unless I'm away. You know what I mean?
That's why we're here, though, mate. Today, innit? It's different today, mate. Friday treat for you, mate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you fight much in Barnsley?
Yeah. I think you'll find I did, actually.
Yeah.
As a pro.
Well, you see, I've been ill this week, so I had to melt my notes down,
Yeah.
So I've had to, my mate Chris, go through them. So I don't know, actually, if you have fought in Barnsley or not.
I have. I'm sure I have fought there.
At the Metrodome, do you think?
On the Metrodome. On more occasions than one, I'm sure.
Well, I've got
and Sheffield as well. Sheffield.
Yeah, definitely.
I know you fought in Sheffield a couple of times.
Yeah.
They stuck out. But I couldn't see Barnsley on the
Not
little
Barnsley
run.
Metrodome. I'm sure once there. No, not once at all. I must have imagined it. I thought I did, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what, mate. We'll be going through his list. If it does pop up, my eyes will be like a beacon towards it, mate. So we'll be talking about that fight. You know that, don't you?
That's it.
So you were telling us earlier about you struggled to have a little bit when you were younger. Were you pelvic or something, was it?
Yes, you know what it was? I didn't realise. My mum always told me that, you know, I had an injury. I remember being fine and then going to the hospital and coming back with both legs up to the top of the hips, down to the ankle in plaster and a bar in between both legs. And I always believed that it was self-caused by myself. Because when I was a kid, we had a piano. And I remember jumping off this piano for fun regularly. And next thing I know, I was in hospital having my legs plastered, and my mum said, it's your fault jumping off the piano so many times, and you've called yourself to be in plaster. It's only in the last 7 years, speaking to one of my elder brothers, that was a load of rubbish. He said it had nothing to do with that. There was something went wrong, something weren't right with your hips.
Right.
My brother told me, and we knew, and no one else had knew. I never knew. I'll never know. I don't know how come. And then about 7-8 years ago, you know, I'm feeling quite a lot of pain in my hips. I am. So I go to the doctors, and he looked through my notes from many, many years ago. I don't know if they still have records of stuff, because I had this problem when I was about 4. And he says, I can see by looking through your notes that you suffered with perf disease. I thought, oh my God, I forgot how I went through my life where both legs was in plaster with a bar. I couldn't even go to a normal school because they couldn't get me around. So they sent me to a special school, because at normal school, they had problems moving me around here, there and everywhere. So they sent me to a special school where I could have help. And then when I did get over this problem, I was able to go back to school, but that weren't for a few years. I missed a few years in a normal school because I was in like a school because of my legs. And so once I got over that, because I wasn't expected to I was meant to be stuck in how I was for longer than I was, but I was like that for about 2 or 3 years, and then I got over it. I remember my legs being very weak when I got out of this plaster. It weren't very nice, but with time my legs got stronger. And then I've always liked to run. I've done a lot of running. So I've always done a lot of running. Then I've done a lot of gymnastics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've done a lot of gymnastics. I've done a lot of tumbling. Well, I had an injury where I fell on my wrist and I had to have a screw put in my wrist. Guys, to be quite honest, I don't know how I was allowed to box, because no, honestly, and I'm having problems as I've gotten older. I have problems with this left wrist.
Yeah,
I had what you call a Scarfe fracture,
right.
and I got a screw in between my wrist and my thumb. But you know what? I've always been able to box with it. I wouldn't now because it's gone really weak.
Yeah.
So I had this tumbling career for a while, but when this injury happened, I had to stop, and I could never do it again. But yeah, it's just one of them things, isn't it? One of them things. What's happened in my life, but I do suffer with it, to be quite honest with you guys. But at the time, I never. It seems like as I've gotten older, I'm getting a lot of like nicks, you know, like pains and things in my joints, you know. I mean, guys, I don't know if you're aware, you had to have a retina detachment, you know.
Did you?
I don't know if you guys are aware of that.
No, I didn't, mate. Tell us.
This, I mean, guys, you know, I don't think it was something what happened in boxing. When I was about the age of 11, I was playing a game, Space Invaders. A friend of mine had a bat and a ball, and he had to run past, and he got the ball and the bat, and he hit the bat and hit the ball, and the ball went straight into my eyeball.
Never.
Honestly, I'm surprised I didn't have retina detachment straight away. I just remember not telling my parents, being really frightened, and having to. I kept it quiet. I remember not being able to see one evening at all, and then when I got up in the morning, everything seemed fine. The only thing is I could see a black dot in the corner of my eye everywhere. And then I left it as that. Later on, when my lad was born in life, when he'd just been born, he was about 2 or 3, he got a cushion and hit me in the eye with a pillar. And I went to the hospital complaining. They said, you got retina detachment. I've had about 11 or 12 operations on my eye. Not many people know this.
Wow.
It got sorted in the end, I'm fine.
So you left it 2 or 3 years with that black dot?
I left it for years. This happened when I was about 11. After the boxing career had finished. The lad hit me with a cushion in the eye. He must be about 4 or 5 years old. I don't like to mention it to me. Don't like it. Like, so I don't mention it. But my lad done it when he was about 4 or 5. So then shortly after, I had to have and it's not just one. I've had numerous of operations on my eye. You know, it's an old injury, and they've done. I've had the gas and air, the oil. None of these operations seemed to work. In the end, it worked. So it was successful, and I'm all right now. But it's just, you know what's been strange? The fact that I've had to have so many of these operations, but they never give up. They get trying different ones, and it works in the end. You know, so much pain going through that, having an operation and it don't work, but you got to go straight back in the next day and have it done again. Under it.
There's no problems with your vision?
No problem there. Oh, vision ain't fantastic. I had 20/20 vision, but now I have to wear glasses to do certain things work on the railway and that kind of thing. But it's fine. Still got 20/20 vision in my left eye, but it's all good. It's all good. You know,
because I think we all start to ache a bit when we get older and as eyesight goes. But I think you had extra circumstances.
Guys, the thing is with this, I got pals who have retired, who I work with and they retired. And I say to them, do you have any aches and pains or anything like that? Friends that smoke, everything. They says, no, nothing's wrong. I don't get any aches and pains.
Oh, I do.
But my one pal, you know, I still speak with him now. I've got a fella called Keith. He says he gets no pains. He don't smoke. Well, he smoked like a trooper, really, like, you know, back in the day.
Yeah.
He says, I've never had any pains. And he's never done anything. Never done any exercise or anything whatsoever. And I think to myself, I've done all these exercises and stuff, and oh my word, I suffered so much with a lot of pain. I do, you know. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I think
really.
The wear and tear as well of 100 fights, man.
Yeah. Look, you know what? If I didn't always make it to the gym, it didn't matter, because you know, a lot of you're fighting, running out. You know, it keeps you fit. And I used to do a lot of running around, You know, there's a lot of hills and stuff, and I do a lot of road works and a lot of treadmill running, but more on the road.
Yeah.
But I wish I'd known what I know now, because I probably wouldn't have done any road running. I probably would have done it all on the treadmill.
Yeah.
And all my running was on the road, majority of it anyway.
You can't beat road running though, mate.
I think that's the cause of it, to be quite honest, you know. The only thing you've got running on a treadmill, it gets boring, doesn't it? It gets boring. You can't... The best thing for you to do when you're running on a treadmill is listen to music. You ain't really got to do that when you run on the road, because you got things to look at.
Definitely,
exactly.
But like, when you set out then, mate, into boxing, did you set out to be a journeyman or?
Listen, my friend, guys, no, not at all.
No,
not at all. I didn't set out to be a journeyman. Actually, in the amateurs, I thought I was doing quite well, and I probably turned quicker than I should have, really, to do with money, maybe, is what made me go over to the pros. I remember having a trainer, Bob Dylan. Actually, he trained people like the likes of Anthony Joshua and them guys in the Olympics. He's got a gym. He's retired from that now, but he's got a gym just up the road there, the Lions.
Right.
The Lions Amateur Boxing Club. And he trained me, but he didn't want me to go pro. He wanted me to stay with the amateurs for a lot longer. But I went to Nobby Knobs, which is like a journeyman stable. Yeah. I had no idea about that. So I wanted to go to a gym where I thought, you know, I can do good at this game. Even had a few fights where I'd fought, I'd won. I thought, what's going on here? I'd won. I don't realise it goes like that. You know, you can, no matter how much you do in a fight, the chances are you're going to lose if you don't knock them out. The decisions are going to go against you. Because the way how boxing goes is you have a ticket seller. He sells tickets, doesn't he, to pay for your wages. But majority of the time, he's going to get the decision, not you. You know what I mean? It's all sorted like that. I didn't know. It's only so now that I've learnt that. I didn't know that.
I didn't until we started doing this.
Yeah, I didn't know you guys knew, because I never knew.
You did.
I never knew this. You know what I mean? But when I was fighting for Nobby, and you got beautiful guys like Peter Buckley and Brian Coleman, Paul Wesley, Carl Taylor, oh, these guys are fantastic fighters who could fight.
Just like yourself, though, mate, as well. You could fight.
But they teach you what to do. They say, oh, don't kill yourself. You're not going to get decisions. And, you know, not only would these guys fight, they were actually champions anyway.
Yeah.
Most of them are all middling champions. Peter Buckley won 2 titles. He won a middling title at featherweight. Yeah. Won a middling title at super featherweight. And he could fight. He'd fought for numerous titles. Not many people know. It's not just about the 300 fights he had. He fought Nazim, went the distance with him.
Twice, didn't he?
Yeah, he fought for international titles and in WBA. People don't talk about these sort of things, but he's fought about numerous titles. He weren't just a middling champion. He didn't just fight anyone. He fought for other titles around the world. And if all you got to do is look at his resume to see who he's fought, and you know, we all fought quite tasty guys, didn't we? Brian Coleman, Paul Wesley. Look at him. He's fought some.
Yes, you all have.
Top guys, yeah. We all have. Even I didn't realise until I looked at it.
We always knew that you all could save the show back when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You would always say.
Yeah.
So, how many fights were you in then? Do you think, Arv, when you got into that routine, you knew what was going to happen?
You know what? After speaking to Brian and them, like Brian and Peter, they told me this is best thing to do is go through the motions like we do, make it look good, and get paid and fight next week. Don't get into these big heavy fights trying to win because you're not going to get the decision. You know. Be cool and fight and bob and move your head, move around, make it look good. Don't kill yourself. Fight next week and then you can fight again.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see that documentary on YouTube? It was posted by me, by the way. Losers Limited.
Well, I was going to ask you about that, so we'll come up to that now. Arv. Did you actually do that then?
I didn't fight. I didn't go on to that interview at the time. I knew when it was happening. I remember.
I know Brian Coleman's big into that interview. I've seen it a few times.
He went in it. Paul Wesley was in there. I don't even think Peter Buckley. No, he did. He did a little
small appearance.
Just a small appearance, but I don't think anybody really wanted to appear on it. I didn't.
Well, you should have done, mate. You should be proud of what you've done, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, my line that sticks out on that for me is always when I think he's in corner with Brian Coleman, Nobby.
Yeah.
And he says, right, get in there and slow him down. He says, and if you need to, smack him in bollocks in order to slow him down a bit more. He says, buy yourself a bit of time.
Gosh, character, how Nob's a real character.
Yeah, and he's still going.
Yeah, he's still going strong.
Happy,
yeah, he's sound. I ring him from time to time. See if he's all right, guys. You know what I mean? He's all right.
It'd be a dream to me. I mean, I don't think I'll ever get to see him. I know he's a very secret man. He won't be.
I know what you mean. Actually, when you ask him things, he says, tell him to F off. I'm not interested.
I'd be happy just to travel over. I'd be happy just to travel over here just to shake his hand and have a cup of coffee.
That's a lovely guy, though. Absolute gentleman. I meant to be going for something to eat with him and Andy Mayers. You remember Andy Mayers?
No.
The trainer, the black lad who was always with Nobby. You must have seen him.
Right. No, not really.
Honestly, he was a fighter himself. He worked with Nobby quite a lot, you know. He'd done the corner with Nobby quite a lot.
Yeah.
Anthony Mayers. He was also a fighter himself. Yeah. Good lad. I'm still in contact with him also, you know. We speak quite a lot.
Maybe we could get him on the show in the future.
Lovely guy. Always with Nobby, always was. Like, you know, we had a cracking time. It's lovely talking about this, you know what I mean?
You know, and you had a great stable with you there at the time.
Fantastic,
mate.
some fantastic guys who could all fight, you know what I mean? And could teach you fantastic defence, how to, if anyone got close to you, how to grab onto the hands out on the blind side without the ref seeing, you know, and stuff like that. You know, they taught you some great stuff, you know.
I love that. He did, didn't he?
So tell me, I mean, I have no idea if this is true or not, but do you think it's because of Nobby that there are so many that are from this neck of the woods, journeymen, I mean?
You know
or
what?
Is that just a coincidence?
Say there's a lot from this neck of the woods. This is an Alzo inside. I don't really think there's that many. Is there from here? I can think of. But actually, so this isn't Birmingham. This is about.
Oh, well, I'm just thinking Birmingham.
You're thinking Birmingham,
that sort of area.
This area is what they call the Black Country.
Yeah.
Which is Hales Owen. Now Birmingham is the other side. It's funny, but everybody gets confused and think I'm from Birmingham. And so I thought you were from. I spoke to a guy called OJ Abraham. He's a journeyman from Watford. I speak with him quite regularly. And he says, I thought you were from Birmingham. I said, no. I said, OJ, have you ever heard of Smethwick? Never heard of it. You heard of Old Hill? Rowley? Hales Owen? Stout? I've never heard of them areas. That's why I say Birmingham. because it's close to Birmingham. It's all anybody ever seems to heard of. They've never heard of the little surrounding areas around Birmingham, but they only hear of Birmingham, so that's why I say I'm from Birmingham. Well,
Keep quiet, Scarfe. I'm from Birmingham as well.
Yeah, I'm from a place called Smethwick, which is about 7 miles from Birmingham.
Yeah.
But being here, this is about 10 miles, 10, 11 miles. Other side of Birmingham, it's not Birmingham. A Birmingham postcode is 0121. My postcode is 01384.
Right.
How's that, yeah? Two different areas, but similar. We speak similarly. This area's got a stronger accent than the Brummie accent. Yeah, but
it's like Matsy right in Tamworth, isn't it? And stuff like that. They're also. It's because we have to come through Birmingham to get to these places, and it's a nightmare every single time.
Yeah.
So we group you all together. So it's not that then. You don't think it were knobbing knobs that sort of helped, or maybe. I'm trying to think why there seems to be so many from this area of the country, shall we say?
No, you're all right. You're all right. If you, I'll get, a lot of them are from Birmingham. There was Macaulay. Yeah, Kevin Macaulay, not fantastic fighter. Someone was going on a group. Someone's going on about him. They seen him fighting. They absolutely annihilated the guy. And the referee put his hand up. They don't do that anymore now. Before, the referee would get his pad out and he'd mark it all, didn't he? And when the fight was over, he just walked straight to give it to the decision. Whatever, if it was a bent decision, he's still going to give it to who he wants to give it to. Because if he don't, he ain't going to get no work, is he?
Yeah. We're saying, wait, Paddy, or we're saying that, they used to get sometimes people going up to ref, giving them their hand in hopes that he'd just put it up.
Yeah.
If they thought they might have been a bit tight, but they don't do that anymore, do they?
That never happens.
Nah.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, now as well, what they do now, they have to read out the scorecard and that now, don't they?
Yeah.
The referee used to take it all on himself. It was all on himself. He's got the scorecard, so we will just go to whoever he thought won. You can't do it like that now. I think it has to go to someone to read it, to announce
they do. Yeah.
Who's won. But all my career, it weren't. It was that way.
Wow.
Where you'd go to whoever he thought won. But a lot of the times, to be quite honest, they know deep down who's won, but they're going to give it to the promoter as well. I'm going to tell the truth, because that's how it goes, isn't it? They're going to give it to the guy who sold the tickets.
That's it.
Not very often. Once in a blue moon, you might get the decision. You might get a decision once in a blue moon.
Well,
but
to be fair, Arv, you had 100 fights bang on, which you're very proud of, mate. You really should.
Thank you, guys.
You really should. And you had 10 wins and 5 draws in there, mate. That's not a bad little record, that, And you knocked 4 of them out that you won as well.
Yeah. Guys, to be honest with you, the draws. I would say they were probably wins, really. Even the last guy I fought, he was a lovely guy. I fought him the first time I fought him in my career. I never done nothing. He says, and the guy says to me, "Bloody hell, I didn't know you could fight like that." It's up to me what I wanted to do. I didn't want to fight. I just wanted to make him get a win, really.
Yeah.
I know what later on in the sport what it was all about. But I did try to win in my last fight, but he just gave it a draw. It was on the home turf, and I'll give it a draw, the bloke said. Yeah, at the time. You know what I mean? They know that they know what they have to do, and if they want to keep being called to referee a promoter show, they want to do the right things by giving the promoter boy, he's selling the tickets and they're using him to do the refereeing. It's only when you think about how it goes, you understand it, don't you?
You
do you know what I mean?
You grow thick skin, don't you?
You do. Because people always look at you, people who know nothing about boxing, and they see all the losses you have, and they think you're crap. They don't understand how it goes.
I love that laugh, mate. I love it.
My lad, he said, when he was a young child, when he was like 7 or 8, he said, "Dad, you're crap. 10 wins and 85 losses and 5 losses. You're rubbish," he said to me. I started laughing, you know what I mean? Oh dear!
You should be so proud of that record, mate.
Yeah.
And he must have been up and down that country. He must have seen this.
Guys, I'll tell you what. Now it's going to be hard for guys. I think what they do is a lot of journeymen. They get them out from other countries because it got to this. It even gets to the stage. One of the British, he's retired now. One of the British Boxing Board of Control blokes called me, and he knew me as well. He says, "Oh, I know it goes. I just thought I'd call you in to have a look at you, and you look fine. I'll mark send you, but." The board, if you keep losing, they take your license off you, won't they? But in the way we all do it, they know the score. But he just called me to have a look, that's all. And that was it, and he just sent me away. And he said, "Oh, you look fine. Do one now." You know what I mean? He actually called me because I had a few losses in a row. But he said, I know how he goes and that, but I just want to see if you look all right. You speak fine and you look fine. I said, normal. How about that then?
Then they sent you on the way.
That's happened in my career. Yeah.
They did call you in then?
Once. Yeah.
Once in 100.
Once in 100.
That's not bad, is it, mate?
Yeah.
They know the score, don't they, most?
They know the score.
And at the end of the day, they know who's good at the trade as well, mate.
That's right.
You've still got some now running around.
Absolutely.
I mean, you've got, like we mentioned, we've got some good uns going around who'll go out to win. But you've also got some good uns who aren't interested in winning.
Yeah.
But they're the smart ones. And they are out every week.
Yeah.
And there's still a few of them round. And I know someone's had 50-odd fights now, and I think they've only been called in once.
I mean, guys, remember this. If you're trying to win these fights, the phone's going to stop ringing. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? We all know the nature of this journey, man. You know what you're there for. You're not there to win. I don't think people realise this.
No, they don't.
They're still done to this day, to the Scarfe.
Yeah. A lot of people don't understand.
I'd like to think we might be educating a few people, because I've certainly been educated.
You lot are in the game, so you lot know. It's not everybody's like you guys, though. People like to follow the sport and they still don't understand the sport. You like understand the sport. You guys got your seconds in it. Well, I was speaking to Paddy. He says, Andrew Paddy. He says, one of them lads also, they got the seconds now. I said, absolutely fantastic. I said, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Went out last week for my first one half.
Yeah, he was. Last week was his first trip.
I bet you enjoyed that though, didn't you?
I was absolutely petrified. Because the thing is about me...
You are going to be petrified because there's a great big crowd around you also. It's not just about doing the job you have to do. There's a big crowd around you. That don't help. That's going to also make you really nervous.
But I suppose it comes with the territory as it grows. Like you said, you'll get a thick skin of losing. I'll just get used to.
I mean, guys, to be quite honest, yeah, you have to have thick skin at first. I hated it. But what's going on here? But I looked at people like Brian Coleman, Carl Taylor, Peter Buckley, them guys, because they were there when I got there, was already there, and they had
you
loads
had a
of
great
fights.
crop.
Do you know what I mean?
Around that time.
And by listening to them and them talking to me about it, and I think, gee, if they can do it, then I can do it. You know what I mean? So that's what I try to do, is try and be like them and watch and learn off them guys. And they weren't half good as well. They could fight if they wanted to fight. You know, it's all about getting paid. And if you're going to try and win fights, then no one ain't going to want to fight you. And you ain't going to get no fights. Next thing you know, time's gone and you end up not fighting. That's what happens. When you look at novice fighters, they're all a stable of journeymen. I mean, I believe he did have a fighter, actually, a decent fighter, a guy called Lloyd Hibbert.
Right.
Look that up. He was a British, he had a British title.
Right.
But he didn't lose it, he gave it up. He was a knobby fighter. And I think Neville Brown, you know him?
Yes.
He was a British champion.
Was he one of Nobby's as well?
He had a couple of one or two fights with Nobby. I couldn't believe it. He told me he did. He said, Nobby, brilliant character. When a lot of people were teaching me anything, he taught me a lot. He said that to me.
I remember when Spence Oliver went on years and years ago. They used to have rings.
That? Yes.
Yeah, you watched that.
Yes.
And he absolutely hated it, Spencer, didn't he? He said, did you take anything from Nobby? He says, no, not a thing. He says, it's everything I hate about boxing, what he taught me. He said, I'll not take anything away from it. But he was telling him all the dirty tricks and how to turn him. And and you could tell Spencer were like, these bastards do that. That's what these bastards do to me now. And it's people like Nobby who turned them to do this to me.
Yeah.
But should we go on to your debut then, mate? Do you remember your debut?
Oh, absolutely. Have you guys gone and never watched that?
No.
Well,
online?
Do me a favour, go and watch that online. Because the guy who I fought, he put it up and I'm glad. I still thought I'd done enough. I think I lost an half a point. It was a guy, it was against a guy, and he done well. He did, a guy called Alan
Bosworth.
And I did try to win. Let me tell you something, guys. Nobby didn't take me to that fight. Have a guess who took me to that fight, and he was in my corner. The great Peter Buckley.
He took a few, didn't he?
Yeah. He took me to my first fight,
Did he?
Peter Buckley. I still thought I just edged it. And I didn't try to lose, I tried to win. Guys, please go online and watch that.
I'm going to do it.
Alan Bosworth v. Arv Mittoo.
I've got it down here as 58-60.
Okay.
Does that sound about right?
I kept thinking I lost an half a point for some reason. I don't know why. I thought I'd done enough. I mustn't imagining things. Maybe I didn't do enough, but I thought I tried. And at the time, he had 5 fights and he was undefeated. So that was my first fight.
All right.
I thought I'd give him a very good fight, I thought. And even if I look at it now, I still think I've done enough, done a gave him a good fight.
Well, no, but I'll be watching tonight when I get home.
Have a look at it, guys, and please have a look at that fight. Alan Bother, he's put it up. He said to me, I thought I'd put them up. Them on DV, them on videos, VHS, in the loft, just rotting. So I thought I'd upload them to YouTube, is what he said.
So you should.
You know what I mean? I try to do that a lot. If I get anything, I got a bit of equipment now. You can do it yourself. Yeah. I'll do it myself if I come across anything. You know what I mean? I've got a DVD recorder. So if it is on VHS, I can put the VHS in and record it from VHS to the DVD and upload it from there. You know what I mean? So I do a lot of that myself when I get older stuff. But my first fight, it was I thought I'd done enough, but I weren't dead. It was at Trentham. Was it at Trentham Gardens? Where was it?
I've got Morehouse, Stoke-on-Trent.
Stoke-on-Trent it was. Stoke-on-Trent. I was thinking Stoke-on-Trent, Trentham Gardens or somewhere. It's not that way anyway.
Did it hurt that? Did it hurt then half?
It did hurt a bit because I thought, in the professional boxing, I thought it was about winning and losing. And I thought I can do good in this game. I'm sure I could probably even win a British title. I'm sure I could have. It's all about having the right people around you to do that kind of thing, isn't it? But guys, I'm happy what I've done and achieved. But to be quite honest, that's not what I went into that sport for. I thought was in that sport. I can at least win a title of some kind. And when I seen what was happening to me and happening around me, I thought, you know what, I'll just do this, and make money out of it.
Well, just quickly, what was your amateur record?
I don't know, about 50, 40 amateur. I probably lost about 10 of them. And I even fought for a novice ABA title. And you know what? I wish I had my amateur card now because I was speaking to a guy the other day, a guy called John Joe Finnegan by Burton-on-Trent. And he took a picture. He said, look, I've still got my amateur card. I said to him, I wish I still had that. Weren't given to me. They kept it, so they would probably threw it away. I wish I had that. I went over to the pros sort of on bad terms, really, because he didn't want me to go amateur. He didn't want me to go professional, my training. He wanted me to stay in the amateurs. But I wish I had my amateur card. I still got my professional card. And I was saying to this fighter, John Joe, I said, John Joe, I still got my professional card. He says to me, I didn't know in professional boxing you had a professional card. I says, well, you did, your medical card, you had your professional. I've still got one. I've got one. British Boxing Board of Control with your picture in and everything. I still got mine. I kept that. But my amateur card, my amateur coach had kept it, so I didn't have that.
Did you get anything for your 100th?
Yes,
from the board?
Yes, I did. And it's on them in my loft with all my memorabilia. I got one for best supporting bouts, and I got a Centurion.
Did you get like a Centurion?
Have you seen that? Have you ever seen one of them?
No, is it like a mask? Is it like a Spartan mask?
Yeah, but what they're doing now, over your way, they're giving you a Spartan mask on a shield.
Yes.
I saw that. And I contacted the British Boxing Board of Control up your way. And they says, we're not doing that. I contacted the British Boxing Board of Control and says, we're not doing that. It's your way what's doing that. We're still doing the picture and the bottle of wine. I never got the bottle of wine. I don't drink, although I didn't wine, but I got the picture. But that is only been done up your way, that nice Spartan. I still could have one of them. I had one, but they said, we don't do it. We're still doing the bottle of wine. If they're doing it round here, I'll have for one of them.
We'll have a word with Les Potts. We'll have a word with Les Potts and get one for you, mate.
I phoned Les. He said, didn't you get something? I said, yes, I did, but I want one of these helmets they're giving out because he said he's not responsible for around here anymore. Oh, Les Potts, is that right? He said he's not responsible.
I think he's central area now.
The central area one, not the Midlands.
Not Midlands like yours now.
But I would like one of them.
But Dale Arrowsmith got one last weekend, didn't he?
Did he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Couldn't you guys have a word? I'll pay. I wouldn't mind one of them.
Well, I've got a word with Potsy.
I've got mine's a picture in a frame on a wall with my memorabilia. I like to go and meet boxers past and present. When these meet and greets. So I had a room made above my loft to have this stuff so it can be displayed. And actually, before you go, I'll pull down my ladder so you can just pop your head up and have a look because it's a bit of a mess. But you can. I need to tidy it. If it was tidy, I'd make you go and explore it. But you go and have a look, pop your head up and have a look after.
I think he deserves to get one of them, mate. Thorpe never got anything.
Did he not?
Nothing.
No. You know what? He was a very good fighter, Daniel Thorpe.
Yeah. He got nothing, did he?
No.
Why is that then, do you think?
He said they were going to get him something, but he never came round to it, so...
Some people get theirs late, don't they? It's happened.
Sometimes, though, you have to try, don't you? and get
to fester him a little bit.
Get things what you're entitled to.
I think Dale Arrowsmith got that. He got that Spartan helmet, and he also got I think he was like a gin. He were called Boxers Gin or Boxers something.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I think they all get that now.
What they do here, they get a picture and wine. I never got the wine, but I don't drink or anything. I don't know. If I did get it, what would I'd just keep it for a souvenir or something?
We'll get you a Spartan,
You know
mate.
what I mean?
We'll get you a Spartan helmet.
You know what? I'd love one of them. I really would.
You deserve. I think you all
I
deserve
saw one
one.
of them having one. I thought, wow, I wouldn't mind one of them.
Do you know what? I'll just come down with a Santa bag and give one to you, Brian, Peter.
So I tried to get one. You know what I mean?
Where would you put it, Arv, in this room then? Where would it be?
In the loft with
Would
the
it be in the loft?
But you know what? I'd like to put it somewhere someone could see it, so I could say, look, I've had a... Because all my other stuff, you know, when I had this house, I said to the wife, do whatever you want with the older videos, but I'm going to have a conversion so I can have what I want to do up there.
Yeah.
I'll do that. So that's what we've done. So
Little journeyman cave.
everything I done, yeah, I'll put it down and I'll let you have a pop your head up.
Yeah, that would Bill.
Yeah, that sounds good, mate.
Yeah,
but going back to career again, mate, we got your first draw against Thomas Bradley, who had a decent record at the time, mate.
Thomas Bradley.
Do you remember that one?
I remember that one. I remember that very, very well.
That were at Winter Gardens in Cleethorpes.
Rest in peace. I don't know if you guys
No,
know.
I don't know, no.
He died in a motorbike accident.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I was shocked. I'm good friends with Isham Pickering. Do you remember him?
Yes.
And he told me,
Right.
that's the only reason I know. I said, never. You know, I only found this out a couple of months ago.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. He had a motorbike accident and passed. Yeah, got a motorbike crash. Yeah.
Because he were 4-1 at the time.
I had 2 fights with him. The second fight, I weren't knocked out. I got cut on the eyelids.
Yes.
And that's why it got stopped. Actually, you know what, guys? I must say, I don't think, you know, a KO is just classed as a knocked out, even if it isn't in it.
Yeah.
And I've had a few clash events, and if you look on my record, there's 9
stoppages.
Yeah, like I've been knocked out. But I've never really been knocked out. I've been stopped.
And that's a question we always ask.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I've never been
Anybody
knocked out.
laid you out, no?
Yeah, no one's knocked me out. No one knocked me out, but I've been stopped or took a few shots and the referee jumped in and stopped it. But I've never been knocked out. I tried to say this and they'll see it and, oh, you have been knocked out, but knocked out. I've never been knocked out. I can't say I've ever been knocked out. Been stopped, but not knocked out or clash of it, stopped like that way. Do you know what I mean?
I think they should differentiate between them.
Now the rules have changed in being on cuts because a cut could be classed as a TKO. Now it don't now, depending on what it is on. They'll go out to get to the school cards and it can be a no contest contest now. That's the new rules of around here. Where it weren't always like that. The person who got come off the worst, he'd be stopped and they'd award it to the guy who'd caused it. Now it's not like that anymore. Depending on how many rounds you do, maybe a technical draw, might be a no contest, depending on how it goes.
I think it's like, say, you've got to complete 2 rounds if it's a 4 rounds.
That's it. Yeah.
Half of the rounds have got to be completed virtually, aren't they? As you're going for. But let's move on to the Elephant and Castle, Arv. Your first big win, and this is a TKO, it says here, against Craig Stanley.
Craig Stanley. Wow.
Did that do it, mate? Did I knock him out or what?
Yeah, you know what it was? I stopped him.
Yeah?
Yeah, but he was a bit on wobbly legs. And what it was, I remember him fighting Brian Coleman.
Yes.
If you watch him on Brian Coleman, Brian gave him a right idea on I only know because I saw it on that Loser Limited.
Yeah.
And they give it a draw.
Well,
and Nobby even says on that, doesn't he? He's going to give this a draw.
You're gonna get that's right. Yeah,
That's the fight.
Have you
That's
seen
the fight.
yeah, watched it. Yeah. He sends me all sorts of stuff to watch.
He needs to learn that.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Yeah. Then I fought him the second time. Actually, the first time I fought him, he quite busted me up. He did.
Yeah.
He beat me up. But that kind of, I was just start going into the journeyman system after that one. I think after a no, but Nobby gave me a right body kick and said, "You got to win this guy." So I went in there with my heart to beat the guy. I don't know. I stopped him in about the second, but he was a good amateur, Craig Stanley. You know, I'm sure he was, and he won a lot of titles as an amateur. You know, but amateur boxing and professional boxing is just 2 different sports, isn't it? Totally. You can do absolutely fantastic in the amateurs and do terrible, not have the right backing, and don't do nowhere near as good.
I think Corley Allison proved that, didn't he?
There you go.
Even though he got a European championship, he were no mean feat what he did.
I mean, guys, like you guys said, he had a European championship. He did win it, but he was lost when he was lucky because he could bang. That he caught Michael Spratt.
He did,
didn't he, with a shot? But apart from that, he wouldn't have won that, would he?
No.
If it weren't for that shot, he would have lost, wouldn't he? Because he lost every round. You know what I mean? And then what happened was, if you think before they fought for that fight, he was fighting for the English.
Yeah.
And he was knocked out by Michael Sprott. The first one, wasn't he? And the second one, well, you know, it's two different games, isn't it? Because they didn't do nowhere near as well as they did in the amateurs, Olympic medal and stuff. You know.
So for people like me who might not know, what are the main differences then between amateur and pro?
Well, it's more of speed, tip-tap and get out and in and out, tip-top. That don't suit everybody. You know what I mean? Professional boxing really is they're planting your feet, throwing big shots. It's like a man's game, isn't it? Like, it's not about bouncing around and tip-tap. It's about they're throwing big shots. And, you know, you might be a good professional at fighting like that and throwing big bombs, but that won't work for you in the amateurs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Will not work for you in the amateurs. The man might be too quick, hit you and get out there. I don't know if they're still doing these new rules with scoring with these buttons, which I don't like that. You know what I mean? You know, because that don't work for everyone.
No. I know it's strange. I know what you're talking about there. I don't know if they still do that now.
I'm not sure, but I don't like that.
No.
You know what I mean? I don't like that. And, you know, in the amateurs also, they're not looking at throwing shots to the body and stuff where they would in professional. It's more tip-tap to the head, straight shots, tip-tap in and out, isn't it? It's nothing like the professional game. You know, because you're a good amateur, don't mean to say you're going to make a fantastic professional. It don't always go that way. That's my opinion. I don't know what you guys would think. And I'm sure quite a lot of other people would agree to say, yeah, it's like that. But to be a good amateur, don't mean to say you'll make a fantastic professional. I mean, you got some professionals that have done very, very good in the professional games, and they didn't do fantastic in the amateurs, and vice versa as well. You know, vice versa.
And I don't think anybody would argue with that point whatsoever. I think you've covered it, and I think most people completely agree with the way you've said that. I know I would.
Absolutely.
Like I said, just sometimes it's just different, isn't it?
Yeah.
No head guards either, is there anything like that?
Guys, can I tell you something though about the head guard? I spoke to someone about this and I thought, oh, is that right then? A person who invented that head guard, I don't think they'd probably never boxed and don't know what it feels like, you know what I mean? But I know it helps in the sense of head clashes. That's what the head guard helps for. But when you get hit on the head with a head guard, I actually think it's worse. The whole of your head, you feel your brain shake when you get hit in your head. Don't feel like that when you haven't got it on. But when you got a head guard on, there's more of a target there for you to get hit in the head. Yeah. You don't move your head as much. Without the head guard, you can move your head and slip shots. Having a head guard on, you think, oh, I've got a head guard on. And when you do take one with the head guard on, it doesn't help. You feel like your head shake more. You can feel your brain shaking in your head. I'm speaking of my experience anyway. That's how I felt.
I like that.
You know, I mean, with them, they changed the rules as well because originally you didn't have to wear them. Then they put them on you, and then there was a rule saying, they'll never take them off, but they did. They had something called an elite, where you didn't have to wear them. I know the girls have to wear them, but when you got to it, they took them back off to certain people who become really, really good. If you're like a novice, you still have to wear them. When you get to a certain stage, you don't have to wear them anymore. Well, maybe these head guards help you from getting protected by butts and cuts, but getting hit in the head, it felt worse to me. When I got hit in the head with an head guard on, it seemed to do more damage to me. I seemed to be able to move my head more easier and fluent without having a head guard on rather than having a head guard on. So I think you shouldn't wear them. But saying that though, guys, it does protect you from cuts because I know that there is clash of heads. Yeah. And I have had that as a pro. Clash of heads, I've had that.
You had many cuts in your time, I've
had one on the left side of my eye, one on the right side, one on my forehead, 4 cuts maybe. You know, from
that's not bad.
Clashing their heads, like, you know what I mean? But you know, I've always been able to look after myself and always been I always knew how to fight. But I'll tell you what, I went to Peter Buckley and them guys, and Nobby, Peter Buckley, Brian Coleman, they taught me stuff I'd never even seen in my life. How about that then? Honestly, I went and learned off people like them, Carl Taylor as well, Paul Wesley as well. They teach you things that you ever seen from anyone. You know what I mean? Honestly. You know, Nobby showed you stuff, but they showed you stuff. I thought, bloody hell, did you guys teach yourself this? Did Nobby teach you stuff? Because you lot have taught me. Okay, Nobby has taught me some things, but some of the stuff I've learned off you guys. Some of this stuff I've never seen in my life. But hey, guys, it put me in good stead not to get hurt, you know what I mean? And I don't think if it wasn't for them, I'd be able to have as many fights as I had, you know?
But going back onto your career, mate, there, I'm going to mention somebody. I think you had a 3 fights with him, Steve Conway.
Yeah, I had 3 fights with him.
What he good?
Very, very good fighter. Very fast fighter. Very fast fighter. Actually, guys, I don't know if you know, I fought him off the 3rd fight I had with him. I broke my thumb. Chipped a bone in my thumb. So that was horrible. Oh, but I did go the distance with him still. It was a 6'2" or 6'3". I can't remember. But
I bet it was sick of seeing you out, wasn't it?
So we had 3 fights ago. Lovely guy, though. Beautiful guy.
He's now
he trains people, doesn't he?
Yes, he's now got his seconds and trainers, yeah.
Yeah, I remember him winning a form of the world title.
He did.
Which they still sanction, because I don't know if you guys know. Even though I don't box, I'm a boxing fan. And I know a lot of the titles, what they had, what I had, they don't sanction them anymore. Things like the likes of British Masters,
yes.
British International, WBU, WBF.
They were all around, weren't they? And
they don't sanction them anymore. One they do sanction, which Stevie Conway won, the IBO.
Yes.
They still sanction
they do that.
Yeah.
Isn't that what Chris Eubanks Jr. won?
Chris Eubanks Jr. won one also, yeah. They still sanction. That's the only one they sanction.
But yeah, but a good fighter, what Stephen, like he says, is...
Good fighter, very fast from the Nadine gym. Very, very quick. Very, 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 very fast. Good fighter, good lad. I think in the first fight, I tried to beat him. The other 2, I didn't try.
Hey, to bring me in 3 times, so I've.
But yeah, what a good fighter he was. I know we had a few fights in the prize fighter. Maybe fought in there a couple of times when he was probably past his best as well. You know what I mean? He did. But he was a good fighter. Steve Conway, really, really good fighter. Fast feet, fast hands.
One of your best you fought, Arv?
For speed.
Yes.
Very quick, very awkward. Probably one of the best I fought, I would say.
Yeah. I thought it that might. You answered my question. I thought the speed would be the one that you mentioned.
Yeah, very fast.
But yeah, quality guy, Stephen, doing very well. And I'm sure he'll be glad he's got a mention on this, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, lovely guy. I like Steve.
We're going to leave the world champions behind now, mate, for a minute. We're going to move on first to Marc Smith.
Oh,
Journeyman himself.
Yeah, he was a lovely guy. Why did they put me in with him, I wonder?
You got him in twice, didn't you?
No, I did not go in there with 3 times with him.
Might be, mate.
Was it twice?
Might be 3.
Can I tell you something about that?
Yeah, please do.
Can you see that there's a win on there, but there's a loss on there?
Mm-hmm.
You know the loss?
I've got 2 wins on my page here.
How many times did I fight? Did I fight him twice or 3 times?
You must have fought him 3 times.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
You know the 3rd one? The reason I fought him the 3rd time is...
No, forget about the 3rd time. Let's talk about your win first.
Okay.
We don't get many out. We don't miss wins out on this.
Okay. Well, to be quite honest, it wasn't a fight I was going to lose. It's not a fight I was going to lose. How could I? It would be hard to lose. It was hard to lose the 3rd time. The 3rd time was hard to lose again.
Yeah.
But he's a lovely guy, and he comes to fight.
Yeah.
But fighting someone who comes to fight, I can fight defensively.
Yes.
So while he was coming to fight, I just had to counter him. That's all I had to do was counter him, because there was no defense, but he could swing shots. So I just waited for him to throw his shots, then counter him, and that's all I'd done for how many rounds it was. I just counted him. I didn't have to fight him. Didn't have to throw a shot at him. All I had to do was wait for him to throw his shots, then counter him.
Yeah.
So it looked like I was beating him up, but actually was countering him every time he threw his shots and missed. Then I threw my shots. So, that's what happened in the situation of fighting Marc.
So for you then, it was a bit of an easy night. Not saying Marc was a bad fighter, but it was your style. It was primed and perfect for you.
Absolutely. And that was the thing with fighting him. But a lovely guy, nice guy from Wales, but it was unusual, really. He was managed and trained by Pat Cowdell, but he was from Wales. He worked in a bank. I don't think he's in this country, because I did speak to him on social media. He was in another country at the minute, but he's a lovely guy, nice guy.
But yeah, 3 fights, mate.
Yeah.
I wondered if you had 2 or 3, like you said.
3 fights. 3 fights I had with you.
2 wins and a loss, mate. But like, just pride.
Do you want to know about the loss?
Yes, of course we do now.
Okay, yeah.
But you have to get the wins in first, mate. Okay. They count.
Yeah. No problem. Well, that's how it was. No disrespect to him, lovely guy, but that's how it was. He come forward and I just counted him. And didn't really have a very good defense either. So it was easy to just jab for a right hand and get out of the way all night. But lovely guy. And I'm not running him down or nothing. I'm just saying it. Because I'll never run down any fighter. They're all beautiful guys, beautiful human beings. And I love them all. Everyone I meet, they always have a lot of respect. But what happened with Marc is, it wasn't Marc who approached me. it was his promoter, Ron Gray. Don't know if you guys remember him, Ron Gray.
I can't say I do.
Yeah, he's a boxing promoter for the Midlands. He used to look after Pat as well. And done a few corners for Pat Cowdell. For the Pat he done Pat Cowdell's corner a few times run. He was a fighter himself. And a Midland fighter himself, heavyweight. Ron Gray from Cannock. He come over to me one day, he says, I wonder if you could do me a favour. Sorry, excuse me. He says, I wonder if you could do me a favour. I got a fighter. The boxing board are going to take his license off him. So I wonder if you could make him win. I said, no problem, Ron. No problem. I'm not no star. I'm not gonna win anything. I lose all the time. I know how it goes, how the system goes. So I said, yes, I'll do it. It's very hard to do though, guys, lads. Very, very hard to do. How do you...
It's dark, but it happens, mate.
Yeah. So, I mean, the fella paid me for it. I didn't want anything for it, to be quite honest. I like Marc. He's a lovely guy. So I was asked by a promoter, could I do that? And I said, yeah, no problem. That's why there's a loss on my record, because I didn't try. It was very hard. The actual ref, I would have made you win. I would have gave you that decision, you know. But you didn't do enough. I didn't do enough because I didn't want to win. Yeah. So it was hard to throw something. Yeah. Because how do I win? How do I lose? So I didn't hardly throw nothing. I said, Marc, work away. 1, 2, grabbed him. Yeah. Throw some now. I didn't know how to lose against that guy.
Like says Mark Smith. I mean, I don't know much about him. He probably were a decent, like I said, decent fighter, but you were his kryptonite, mate, wasn't you?
Yeah.
Just your...
beautiful guy as well, from Wales he was. Lovely guy.
He had a few wins as well, though, mate.
Yeah,
he did a fair few wins.
When I fought him, he had a lot of fights already, and he had quite a few wins, about 7, 8 wins already when I fought him.
But going on from Marc, mate, we've got to mention it. You went in with the great Brian Coleman, didn't you? How did that come about?
Yeah, that was another thing. You see, helping one another out. We needed a fight for the other corner. Yeah. So we ended up fighting on that. That weren't really a fight. I'm sure he could have knocked me out if he wanted to. Said, come on, let's just let this look good, man. Your turn now. Threw a few bombs. My turn now. You know what I mean? And he threw the more bombs than me. At the time, it felt like he could have knocked me out. Yeah. He probably, I know, a good fighter, O'Brien, you know.
He was a good fighter, man.
Yeah, he just out back a lot on the fights. So he could fight next week. Yeah. That's all that was all about. You can say the same, and then you get in the habit of it, don't you? And sometimes you might fight people who you can win and you lose. When you got into that much of losing, it happens, you know what I mean? Do you know, there's a few fights when I could have won. I never lost. I fought a guy online and I was unfit and people said, you still beat him, you know. I fought a guy called Harry Andrews. He's a trainer now. And then I fought another guy. I thought I'd just done enough online, but I was unfit. But they give the decision to the other guy. Funny. Sometimes nobody would get a guy, you should have won that. And even though you didn't do enough, you didn't get it. Really, when you should have won, you should have probably knocked them out. Yeah. And there have been times when you're unfit. But sometimes nobody's got your fight. I said, you can't just drop that on me now, mate. I ain't got no chance of wanting to fight now. I'm having a rest. And I've gone and fought, you know what I mean? There's been times I've gone to work. I was a traffic warden for a while, parking attendant, and I've gone from work to go to the gym. He says, have you got your kit on you? And actually, I have. Why? I've got a fight for you down Bethnal Green. I said, no problem, okay. And I've gone and fight, you know.
Brilliant, mate.
That's happened sometime on quite a few occasions.
More than once, then, that's happened.
More than once, of course, yeah. Quite a lot of fights have happened that way. A lot of the fights, I was fit because as long as you ran, it kept your weight down, but it kept you being able to throw punches and you move differently. It's weird. When you're unfit, you move differently. You can't. You're just sluggish. It's weird, isn't it?
Well, as a journeyman as well, you don't really have to spar, do you? No. Because you're out week in, week out.
Absolutely. You was out week out fighting, so you're doing your job on the road fighting. Yeah. You know, as long as you do that and you run, you ain't got to do anything. You know what I mean? You ain't got to do anything because the job you're doing is about fighting. What better can you do than fight? We can all eat pads and we can all eat pads and bags and shadow spar and that kind of thing, but that's not fighting. You need to fight to get the experience to be able to fight. By eating pads and doing that kind of thing, you're not doing that. I remember watching a Bruce Lee film and the bloke got a piece of board and smashed it in front of Bruce Lee's face and Bruce said, boards don't eat back. He annihilated this guy. It's true. We can all look good and stuff, but if you're not going to get hit back, It's all right to look good, isn't it? And you do look good. How will you look good if someone's going to hit you back? Will you be able to do what you do? You know, a lot of these people, there's a lot of fighters can hit you and look good. The minute you hit them back, they go to pot, don't they? There is a few fighters like that. There is a few like they're all right once you don't hit them back. But if they feel it, they take it easy. It's weird. Even one or two people have said to me, said, I was fighting with that Peter Buckley, I was hitting him with a few shots, and I got in close and he hit me hard to the stomach. Just take it a bit easy. And I did. I've had fighters said that to me about Peter. Yeah, honestly.
He was a good one,
He was good, He's took it easy with us, We're there trying to beat the shit out of him. And they just swing one in hard to the body to let they say, take it a bit easy. And we have.
What a guy.
And people don't know this.
No.
I don't think I've ever told Peter this. I don't think I've ever told Peter this. But we're always in contact, not much, but I speak regularly to him and Brian. They're really nice guys. Because of them, I was able to do what I've done.
You're up there with them as well, though.
It's nice to hear that. I look up to him, Brian and Pete and Carl.
You're in that elite with them, though, mate, as well.
Yeah, Carl.
I mean, you were around that tough time.
I was, yes.
And it were a tough time around that time, mate.
Yes, it was.
Like you said, them days, you were fighting people sometimes 2 and 3 times.
Yes, we did sometimes.
It happened a lot back then.
One a week, when trying to help people out if you can,
The Journeyman Cave is produced by James Proud. Music by Ryan Carrier. Special thanks to Rhythm Inc. Studios for hosting. All views expressed are of the guests only. The Journeyman Cave and host bear no responsibility for any opinions given. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter @The Journeyman Cave.